Go ahead and take over the so you guys get the morning show.
Well, here's what I was trying to figure out. We have
No, Apple didn't have them yesterday.
There's one this afternoon. That's a morning show. Because we dropped the
Just sounded not the same size as the lock. My sound was
your sound. You
drifted in.
Oh, did I?
I'm sorry, is this a new sport? Tell everybody I said hello.
I don't have any. Having left this building by the time Journey's going to get the fire off unless some hero goes over there. Yeah, I was going to say Journey's going to get off only media outlet here today.
That's going to be so funny when Ohio State loses Friday, like 3 o'clock on Saturday, and he's tweeting about TJ Holmes there, the second half of the Ohio State Michigan game. Yeah, no, he's tweeting about
Ohio State is down like 10 in the fourth quarter. So you see Jordan.
I don't know what these East Washington basketball game history is.
I told
Scotty Middleton game.
I told him like Friday's game, Saturday's game. Why would they do this?
I like to get the
Yeah.
Right.
They want
I like Michigan.
We're saying everybody.
Yeah, Sunday at 3 p.m.
That was the official
A little bit.
Can I get a sanity check?
Mic check, 1, 2. Check. Everyone else doing okay? Mic check. Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Check, check, check. Yep, excellent. Mic check. Check, 1, 2. Hey, check. Everyone still doing all right? Excellent. Very good, very good. Check, check. Mic check, 1, 2. Still doing good in the back. Nick, 3. Still good? Wonderful. All right. Check, check.
One and done with questions today.
Either one. If we do this live, we can just do. Then let's make this.
I didn't understand what
Yeah, we're probably like.
Yeah.
And this was late in my
So, what am I trying to do?
I think
I'm not allowed. Apparently tries to lads.
Oh,
no. He has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah. I think
She doesn't know that. I love college football.
Hey, folks, so as I mentioned last week, we're going to be a little bit shorter with the press conference today. We'll have Coach here right about noon for about 15 minutes, and we'll have Coach Knowles for about 15 minutes, then we'll go out onto the indoor to clear everything out of this room, to go out to the indoor, and we'll do 5 players. I've got 2 tables set up, so we'll only have 2 tables going, or 2 players going at one time, and we'll rotate through the 5 guys. I'm gonna ask if we can just, stay with 1 question, because I know you guys want questions, and, we might have to get at least 1 question. We leave Friday at 3 o'clock. 6 buses from Mark, Woody.
One of my best three until the mic
Well, they're not taking money. What's the schedule?
2024.
Jared's not said our guess is something involving Northwestern Stadium being knocked down, and so the Northwestern game will be played in
Northwestern
That's
is
pure
playing
against
another home game against Ohio State.
that. I kind of wanted to be in Wrigley just for the sake. I've never seen a game in Soldier Field either. So that makes sense.
Kind of like football national championship.
I always support both teams.
Yeah.
So now, if you're wrong about it being either of those things, I'm going to do that.
Well, the new speculation was that Michigan fit the drawing from the conference to the SEC, which is also a strong possibility.
Yep.
What if they're joining the Ivy League?
That would fit with their out-of-conference schedule.
I am serious. I'm going to scout out somewhere to eat. Hopefully, you're not taping from.
We're not
1
anywhere.
p.m. to
We're not
10 p.m.
anywhere close to where you guys are.
No, I'm in the same hotel you guys.
Oh, you are? You should change that.
I guess I could. I guess I can move it to somewhere else. You can see I'm not wanted.
You might lose track, but you'll.
No, I'm actually leaving later today. I'm going to get around.
Oh, wow. And then you're flying Definitely no problems there.
Yeah. It's groovy. I'm hoping it's pretty smooth. Congratulations on top.
Layovers from like Thanksgiving week to
So I just got any cards.
Oh, that was the time of that whole like snowstorm.
My sister was living in Denver. Flying out in 26. They canceled her flight on the night of the 22nd. We can rebook and go. I honestly wanted to go. We can rebook the whole flight on January 3rd. Closest to the
And this is really good. They refund that. It only give you 40 credit. I would have just.
I was about to say, yeah, it's nice though.
That'll be less than 5 minutes now. All right, well, thanks for being here. We'll open up today's press conference. Dave Biddle, and again, one question each, please. Dave Biddle, 24/7 Sports.
Pipeline, the intensity is always through the roof in a game like this, especially this game, not even more consistent. Especially when you talk to your guys about either not being that second guy that gets caught.
Yeah, I think it's important. You have to play with emotion. You can't let emotion play with you. I think that's important. You have to have your emotions in check, which isn't easy in a game like this because, as we all know, how the magnitude of it all. But it's something that we identified in the off season. So then we'll talk about this week.
Bill Landis, the podcast.
Right, the way you're on the game is much better, and I'll go with later. What was the process like of kind of landing all the things that were
Yeah, going to keep getting tested, and but I feel like we've made some progress in different areas. I think certainly Trey coming back has made a big impact on that, but everybody is involved with it. It's balanced. But I think, identifying each week what's worked for us and what hasn't, and fixing those things just over time, getting better. And I think the infusion of Trey has certainly helped.
Tony Irvin,
Ryan, given some of the backstory with JJ McCarthy and Kyle McCord and the recruitment that went on there, how do you keep Kyle from trying to prove you right in this game?
Well, I think there's a lot going on here, and I think what we've done all season is in preparation for this game, the way that we've prepared, the way we've evaluated each game, the way we've talked about each game, our focus in the offseason, our focus in the preseason, and our focus during the season. So, like I told the guys on Sunday, we've been preparing for this moment all year, and so now we just need to continue on the routines that we've been on, and be the best team we've been all season, but at the same time focusing on those things, and it'll be the same for Kyle.
Matt Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, when do you think you really grasp the magnitude of this game? I mean, you can hear about it from the outside, and maybe even the first couple of times you experience it, it's a big game. But when did you really understand what this game means to Ohio State?
I think every year you just learn more and more. I guess this will be my 6th time in the game, so you learn quickly when you're here. But each year, you learn more, and it has more of a significant impact on you as a person. And I think all of our guys, when they come here, whether it's a coach or a player, they're here for one reason, to win that game. And so, and I guess every year that you're here, you learn about that more and more. But my youngest daughter doesn't know any other place other than Ohio. So, this world means the world to me and my family.
Stephen Lee, Cleveland.com.
Obviously, you guys have been quarterback when you're trying to decide who's going to hire the board and whatnot, are there certain things that you're looking for? I think you sat with one guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's not just one thing, but there's a lot that you look at. Leadership, competitiveness, toughness. There's just so many things that you do. And the difficult thing now is starting recruiting at younger ages, and certain guys are being evaluated as freshmen and sophomores, and then you continue to evaluate, and you have guys like Lincoln who we evaluated his senior year. So, and then you try to compare the best you can, but there's not one thing other than competitiveness is one that for sure is high on the list.
And Hope, the Warriors.
Ryan, just want to follow Kyle and JJ. What do you remember about recruiting JJ, and what was it about Kyle that ultimately led you? There's all kinds of things that lead into recruiting, and JJ was always great. He was very respectful. He was a very competitive player, and got a lot of respect for him as a player and as a person.
during the recruiting, cycle, you spend time with different people and different folks, and you learn about people. And again, all my interactions with he and his family were, very classy.
Hey, Barrett, Cleveland,
Yeah, go back to that. I think the dynamic, before you kind of all the other we had it up, the way that this year thing has been. But how was that not personally for you and your staff? How, I guess, personally, that if those games decided to have going on?
Yeah, because I think, not that it's easy, but the only thing that matters is this game, is this team is preparing. The rest of it doesn't matter. So that's what we have to do. We have got to stay disciplined enough to focus on that. And it goes back to the conversation about emotion, letting, emotion of the game and everything get in the way. We can't do that. And every year you learn more and more about this game and the preparation for it. So we're not going to let any of that stuff get in our way in terms of distractions. We're just going to focus on this team, this season, and preparing the best we possibly can.
Austin Moore, podcast.
Right, this is an outside observation, so I'm not going to agree with it. But going into the game last year, this seemed pretty uptight to me, and that was very different from the way I don't know if you noticed the difference, that's something we can do. Obviously, that's just a pressure of the game. I don't know if the team takes the two for you, that's something that's undermined. You notice the difference.
I think every year you evaluate what's going on and you try to do the best you can to make sure that you fix the things that don't go well and enhance the things that do go well. I think there was a lot of things that went on, in the game, looking back on it. And so you learn from it and you move on.
Joy Kaufman, welcome to that.
Yeah, anytime you have experience in a game like this, it makes a big difference, and it's something to go back upon, which is good. He's a very smart player who, understands situations, and when you've been in those type of situations before, you have something to grab onto and refer to when you have a reference point, and I think that all helps in preparation. Yeah, just watching him play and doing it and learning about the things that he excelled at.
Seems like this rivalry was built on respect, even in the 10-year war. At the heart of it, you just putting his own respect to each other because of what's happened in this investigation. It doesn't seem like that now. Does that sadden you, or does it energize you?
I think, I was taught that, the way you respect a rivalry is to work it every day. And whether it's in the weight room, whether it's, game planning, talking to your players, periods in practice in the, during the spring, periods in practice in the preseason. And that's it. And so, we respect the rivalry and certainly excited to play here on Saturday.
Ryan, you referred to your team as Road Warriors points this year. So something special about this team going on the road more times than at Ohio State in a long time and they get it done and to have this one be on the road, is something a little bit special about that. Maybe it's love playing the shoe, but it seems like the road has been
Well, yeah, and we have the schedule right over there, and I point to all those white blocks right there. The teams we knew we had to go on the road this season more than we had in the past, and certainly knew we had to go on the road for this one. So, like I said before, it's all in preparation for the last game of the year, and so it's been great to get tested, get battle tested. So again, you talk about reference point. Our team does have a reference point. It'll be loud. It'll be hostile, great environment. But we've been in those before, and so again, the reference point going into the game is important. It's extremely important. Yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot of things that are important, but that's extremely high.
Ryan, Michigan obviously has a really good defense, especially in the red zone. How do you what's it take to execute at extremely high level against teams like that?
Well, first off, they haven't had very many snaps down there, so there's not a ton to go off of. But you got to every yard is worth 2 or 3 down there, and you got to do a great job execution. When the field gets smaller, we call it the 12 defenders at end line, and so you just got to operate in a smaller area, and so you got to be efficient. But that'll be another situation that'll be huge in the game. Those 4-point plays where you have to kick out field goals or scoring touchdowns on both sides of the ball.
Some of the plays, questions, rivalries, they beat or how many years. It's very intense. But there's always been respect among the players. There's players. Is that whole true for coaching? Do you respect your Harbaugh and your staff, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I think, with everything going on and the things, that are out there, we've just kind of stayed away from all the distractions. We have, just focused on our team. And I think our guys have done a good job of it. I think, when you talk to our guys, I have talked to them a couple of times about, what's going on this season and going into the game. But, they're focused on this game. They're focused on the season. They're focused on that preparation. And we're just going to continue on that.
Coach, you give them a game plan, you work all week. On game day, how important is it though for you to go out there and play fast? What's the mission?
That's it. It's our job to give them a good plan, let them go play, and then they can go out there and compete at the highest level, and that's what you want as a coach. So we got to have a good scheme. We got to do a great job with that, but at the same time, we got to allow them to go play, and that's what it comes down to in big games. It's going to be 4 quarters. It's going to be a battle, and the good news is, again, this is something we've been preparing for all year.
Your emotion on the sideline, and you've seen it every now and then. We saw it at Georgia, we saw it in the game. How do you pick and choose those spots? And how much do you think your emotional state kind of impacts the team getting them hyped up?
Yeah, I think you have to know your team. You have to know what's going on each week. Sometimes it just pours out. Other times, you feel like you got to give your guys a little something. But you also want consistency. But the guys in the locker room know how competitive we all are and how competitive I am. But like you said, you have to keep your emotions in check, and that's going to be starting from the head down. It's going to start from me. We have to go in there and execute at a high level and handle the environment.
David, what would you say?
Well, kind of what David said about the approach to the game. That tunnel was turned into kind of gladiator before. And talks about what you're trying to do, how to handle that pregame for activities.
Yeah, we've had conversations already. They've been folks have been talking about it here for a couple weeks and put some good plans together. Again, to make sure that we can focus on what matters, and that's getting on the field and playing football.
Coach, you've referenced the fact that you prepare for this game all the time. It's constantly part of the program. So how much do you reflect on your preparations for this game the week leading up to it in years past? Do things change? What's the vibe right now as you get ready for this game compared to where it was this week a year ago?
Yeah, I think you look at that in the offseason for sure. You just dive in and try to identify, okay, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about the scheme. Let's talk about the preparation. Let's talk about, leading up to the game. Let's talk about all of those things. And then you try to identify, so what exactly happened in the game. And then you learn from there, and you grow from there, and you make adjustments from there. And then that's kind of how you shape your season. That's how you shape your off season. And then you learn about your team. You learn about, there's a lot of information that comes in during the season, and you grow from there, and you build from there, all in preparation for this one. So, you certainly look at all those things. But at this point, a lot of those decisions have been made.
Deep left, Katie Cruz, effective line.
Ryan, with so much changing next year, this game might not have as much on the line. I guess, what do you relish about an opportunity like this, and what will you miss about something like this?
Yeah, I don't know if that'll be the case. I'm sure there'll always be just as much on the line when these two teams play. And certainly it'll be different, but I don't think it'll change anything just on the format. It's always going to be this way. And the format certainly will change next year, but I don't think the rivalry will ever be anything less than it is right now.
Andy Andrews, one Warrior.
Yeah, just, this feels like, that's the drop. Where's your confidence level at with that group right now, and what are you seeing today in February?
That you're seeing improvement every week. You're seeing a group that works together. You're seeing progressions, individually and as a unit. And so, they're going to do a great job today of getting out there on Tuesday practice and working at their craft and preparing to go play at a high level and then go compete for 4 quarters. But like you said, week in and week out, we come in and talk about the progress in different areas. I think you've seen it in that area. So, I think their confidence is as high as it's been all season.
Far left, Jeff Gilbert, best coach.
Coach, defense, how excited, your emotions, expectations after the last 2 seasons against Michigan, are we to see that?
Yeah, no, it's, again, same thing, just adjustments need to be made, not just this year, the year before as well. And so, here we are, got to go put it on the field. But again, I think you're going to see a confident group going out there.
Andy Baxter, 11 in a row.
Ryan, I know you've mentioned the reference points that Kyle has, but what about his development from the start of this whole thing, quarterback competition to now? Gives you confidence that he's the guy on Saturday?
Yeah, no, you see him executing plays, you see it in practice, and then it carries over to the field, and that's what you want. Now, ultimately, we got to take care of the football, win a game. That's the bottom line here. And, the good news is you got a great group around him, and he's been in these environments before. So, a lot of things in his favor going into the game, but now he's got to go put it on the field.
Bill Biddle, Columbus Dispatch.
You guys want to make a couple of moves at these?
I feel like we've been tested at different times this year, with the growth of the quarterback. We've been in games at halftime where we were winning, and games where it's been close. We've been games where we've been losing. So we've had to win games in the 4th quarter. We've had games where we've pulled away from teams. So I think we've learned a lot about this team. I think they're a more mature veteran team than in the past. Many of these guys have played in this game before. So, I feel like I have a good feel for who we are and who our identity is.
Got Liam Reese, Teams of the North.
You've always talked about needing to play your best football in November. Obviously, that applies even more to this game. You've been talking about you have to learn from the past, right? But to get your guys to play their best game, like mentally and emotionally, right? That's what you can control. You play your best game on Saturday. What do you have to do as a coach and staff to really do that? How much do coaches and coaching staff influence that, or is it kind of up to the guys to do that? And how do you think in your time here, have you guys played your best games against Michigan on this final Saturday in November, or do you feel like maybe you haven't?
I think you look at the routine. I think that's something you grab onto in big weeks. That's why you set routines. That's why we talk to our team about routines. And that's, in big games, that's what you grab onto to make sure you stay on that routine, and it's a productive process to make sure you're covering everything you need to cover in terms of preparation. And again, we've had great opportunities to take a look and see how things have gone down, why they've gone down, and regroup every season and try to identify the things that we got to improve at. So, this has been a great group to build with. They're a great group to coach, and we're going to have another great week of practice right now, and I can't wait to see these guys play on Saturday.
Here in the Birmingham podcast.
Ryan, for all the success you guys have had here since you've been here in 2017, starting on the offensive coordinator and then taking over in 2019, there's only a handful of guys that were on that 2019 team that have beat this team. The tenor of the entire rivalry has changed in the last couple of years. You get the COVID year, which maybe threw a giant wrench into things. How different is this week feel for you now than it did when you started here? And do you think that it was a change that has been necessary for the guys in the building?
I don't know. I think it's a good question, but we take every year as it is and go from there. But there's guys with scars, and I'm one of them. And so it just drives you every day to work harder and to make sure you do everything you possibly can to win the game.
Any final questions? Tim May, Joe.
Brian, obviously everybody knows 2 versus 3 undefeated collision ramifications of this game or enormous result.
Keep going to.
Yeah. How much freedom comes with knowing you're going into a game where really all that matters is to go win? Is it, you've been in some of these leagues, yeah. What does it kind of change about that?
Well, no,
I just see what you did.
yeah, we say in those matchup games, it can come down to one play. And we have to play those games that way. We've been in a couple of those this season and talk about those games. Not that any game is any different, but it can come down to one play, and you've got to be on your game, and you got to win the situations. Yep. I don't right now. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mike, what do you guys do, Coach Knowles?
I think he just got
Hey, Bill.
That was probably,
You know what's life on the inside?
Yeah. So your tripod's there, set them on. Okay, that one I had.
Find the big guy and beat his ass.
Put your tripod there.
Absolutely.
Is there one on the other table? Okay.
I was gonna say corn.
Hey, Joe. Joe. You need to be at the, we'll have the same ones here because it's gonna take me a minute to get out there. You need to be on the other one. Work, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah. And use your tripod, not the one I have, this is a terrible tripod. It doesn't lock down right. Your tripod.
My sound like I was talking to each other.
You gotta like stuff to this, get a trick to it. That.
No, yeah, I was using. I don't know if I was using because I've never been.
Okay, yeah.
What I should have done is just use it. But that was also my battery spot.
The ball would have been.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I figured it was bad sense.
But it was like, it was what it is.
All right, guys, same deal. We'll keep it to one question, about 15 minutes. And then we'll be able to get everybody. We'll do the rest of the game. We'll start with Austin. Talking to you after a lot. Just as
the typical now, they've got neighbors and all, some other factors. We're playing.
No, you know, we have to be focused on what's happening right now, you know, the things that are in our control. You know, lack of ego and being selfless. I mean, a lot of that applies to whatever happened, you know what I mean? That's not going to help us. What's going to help us, you know, my freshman history teacher, Father Vincent Tiger, SJ. But he, remember, he started first times a freshman, like, you know, those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. You know. But then, then he also used to say, he said, well, you got to live in the present moment. You know, highest form of sanity is live in the present moment. So I think what I finally, I don't know if you ever figure it out in life, but that, like, those things that happened in the past. Yeah, you have coaches, you have mentors, and yeah, like, I need to figure all that out and process that and determine what's important to then pass on to the team, because they don't need to be worried about any of that. They got to play hard, they got to play tough, they got to play fast. So they don't really need to be worried about that. I mean, I can think about that, ruminate on that, and, you know, go through all the things in the off season. But ultimately, we're better right now because of it. So we got to stick with that. Yeah, I mean, well, main reason our players or coaches or our people who run the cafeteria, because you want to be the best and you want to compete against the best and you want to challenge yourself, you know, to see how you stack up. So yeah, I mean, you know, you do things that take a long time. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Ultimately, it's all to give the players the best chance to win right now at the Ohio State in this game. You know, it all kind of points right to there. And you just have to perform. You got to be tough. You got to be physical. You got to be fast. Can't be thinking too much. You know, I mean, that's where all the fundamentals and all the development of the scheme really comes into play. Yeah, it's a big challenge. It's unusual. You know, everybody has to understand the scheme and the gap fits, and there's an exactness that comes with it that I think a lot of people don't understand. That I think you men and women do, because you know, I'm not just blowing on them. Men and women do a great job here of really technically knowing the game, but you're right. I mean, there's a lot of gaps. All of a sudden, there's a lot of different gaps. And the running backs are talented, and the offensive line is talented, and so there really is an exactness and a preciseness that our players need to understand, and that's my job. My job is to get them to understand by Saturday and be able to do it fast.
We've heard talk a lot about confidence and how much that's going to take. Where's that confidence from that compared to what it was last year? Because how does that, like, personify confidence? What does that mean to your guys to get confidence and how to get more success?
Yeah, I can't really comment on last year, but I can tell you what I see right now, and I think, to me, confidence is playing fast, and that competitive excellence, which is like win the moment, like be at the right place at the right time, playing fast with a bad attitude. You know, you put when you watch it, you know, you can see it, and I think everybody can, and that's what we really honed on as a defense is let's be a defense that everybody can watch, and even if they don't know the exactness or the preciseness of the game, they can see people playing fast and showing up in the right places, and that gives everybody confidence. You know, so our confidence then I think spills over to the team, the fan base, and wherever you feel like you're going to be okay, no matter what happens.
Jim, you may have answered this with Bill's question, but what is your biggest concern facing this Michigan offense?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint, because the running game is multiple because of all the different formations. They do a great job of hiding their formations and their intent. And the offensive line is as good as we faced, and the backs are really good. So I think when you look in the history of this game, the game, it starts there. You have to do that. So then I think the balance becomes, okay, how do you prevent the explosive plays on the back end with not over-committing to this and leaving yourself exposed here? So that's the real balance again.
Michael said earlier that he's going to be ready for the game. That was playing really well. Mike isn't, but that needs to be done.
Mike's a great player. He plays with great energy and great enthusiasm. I think he lifts everybody up around him. And yes, I've been saying it all year. So he helps us, not just using up blocks. I've been saying all year our defensive tackles have actually been making tackles. When you have defensive tackles that make tackles, it helps the whole defense.
And obviously last year, there was a problem with your big plays through the air, breakdowns in the secondary. How much more prepared do you feel like this secondary is this year to handle situations where they might be one-on-one and it comes down to them to the next play?
It started last spring, like I said, competing against our offense. One of the best receivers, the best receiver in the country. Our guys, forget about the scheme. That's not their issue. That's my issue. But they play with a more competitive nature. All spring, all camp. And you can't just turn it on for this game. It's just something like you said that's growing, and you see them competing for more balls and playing close to receivers, challenging routes. Yeah, that makes me confident, but that really makes the rest of the team confident.
This thing about the topic, assuming you can't play outside, how do you think about how you do something?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to. Yeah, we would love to have Layton. That certainly allows us to do different things with Sonny, and without that, we still can do different things with Sonny, but we can be less focused. Yeah, Sonny has got to be spread around in different locations, we think he can make a lot of plays.
Jim, at what point did you really feel like you started to grasp this rivalry? I know you hear about it all year leading up to last year. Was it after the game? I mean, when did it really click for you what this meant outside of just a rivalry?
Yeah, I think when you live through it and you feel the disappointment and you take that personally, not personally like you get angry, but personally like you don't want to let anybody down. You know, you don't want to let the fans down. Most importantly, you don't want to let our players down. So you see how they feel, you know, and you just want to do better. I mean, that just shows me they have great confidence in their running game. They have great confidence in their defense, right? I mean, a team that's willing to do that is willing to play the long game, the four-quarter game, and trust their defense and their offensive line and running backs. And, you know, it shows me that we're going to be ready to slug it out for 4+ quarters or whatever it takes. Yeah, I mean, how much Jordan has been playing well, and that's, you know, and Jordan has shown the ability to, you know, make that decision in the running game and go attack. But you know, it's just a question of how much do you really want him to do that. Jordan is a skilled athlete. Not that our other guys aren't, but I mean, you know, he's not that big of a guy. So, you know, and he's more than willing and capable. But you just have to balance how much do you want to do that. Just like I said, just like how do you balance a quarterback, right? He's a runner, he's a thrower. And you don't want to run him too much because he gets beat up, and then he's got to be a thrower. You know, to me, that's the same thing you have with a nickel who's coming from the corner. You know, maybe more of a nickel corner rather than a nickel Sam or Sonny is, you know, so you know you have to balance it.
X factor gives you the Jeffrey flag. What you got? What can you do about that? I mean, you expected to see him run a little more and run a lot, but this game maybe that.
Yeah, I expect him. He's a really good runner. You know, we ran some against us last year, and he runs from time to time when they need it. He's a competitor, so you just have to always be ready. You have to always be ready, and you have to understand the types of runs that he likes, the types of scrambles he likes, and you know, he's a really good player. So you've got to be aware of his ability to throw as well as the.
Jim, you just only given up one play before you that was obviously a topic of conversation all season. At what point this year did you feel like, okay, we kind of have this down? It seemed like obviously you go week to week, you don't know until you kind of do it over and over.
Yeah, I never feel like we have it down ever. It's a constant pursuit to defend explosive plays, and look at the one that got us. What was that? That fake sneak thing? Hats off to them. What a great play, you know. But you never know where they're going to come from. So you better be on high alert. It better be something that's a priority. It has shown to be a real factor in this game. When you study statistics, it's been a real factor. So we can never stop talking about it, defending it, practicing it. I think after physical training, right, from Coach Mick, that like gives our guys a ticket to get into the dance. Coach Mick gets in there, and Coach Day with the way that you're. But after that, it's mindset. It really is mindset. So you have to, if it's important to you and you've demonstrated that this has an effect on winning, this has an effect on your career, they see it, it's on their mind. So whether they run or do push-ups or whatever, there's something that's a reminder to them that, hey, this is really important. And this is a primary focus for our defense and for you as a player. That's just it is a mindset.
I mean, that's another version of the question you got 6 times previous. What has the journey been like for you as a coach? You had a game like the Michigan game last year, where you give up some explosive passing plays. It becomes a priority for you, that passes on to the players. You guys talk about it, execute it, it's constant. And now here you are again with an opportunity, right? What is the 365-day journey? It feels like you and your defense are just very connected in this pursuit of, we're going to focus on this and not let that happen. What's that like as a coach?
It's a long, arduous, grinding process to get here, but it's extremely rewarding, and I think that's the job of a leader is to, have a vision, like we talk, to learn from your mistakes, not have an ego, which a lot of us coaches do, so, maybe, so not have an ego, what's best, what happened, how do I fix it, have a vision of, okay, this, now you have to communicate that, like you got to get people to buy in, like we talked, then you're selling it for 365 days, and you're growing it, and you're watering it, and you're feeding it, and you're nurturing it, and you're bringing and showing, this is good, this is not good, this is good, not good, good, not good, why, we have to go out and do this, how, okay, here are the things that we're going to do, here are the specifics of how we're going to do this. And you sell it to them, and you motivate them, and they see it. But it's a long process, but extremely rewarding. And we have to make it pay off for us this Saturday.
Tommy Ackenberg, how much did you want to play in this game? You guys had last week, of course, Friday, they almost got in the flank. But what will he bring? You get back to clear, ready to play. What will he bring to this game?
Everything. Tommy will bring every single ounce of his person to this game. And he will fight to defend our honor. That's just the kind of guy that he is. He's the kind of guy we all want on that wall.
Thank you.